The best place in the world to see leopards is Yala National Park in Sri Lanka. This isn't a typical safari video, but you might get tired of spotting leopards again and again. Yala is one of Sri Lanka's most famous safari destinations, known for its rich wildlife, diverse bird species, and beautiful forests. After spending 2 days exploring Yala on safari, we are heading out again. This time to witness the world's largest species, the blue whale. Yala truly offers an incredible experience for nature and wildlife lovers alike. So welcome to Pikwoods. Let's begin the journey. After the previous episode, our journey continues to Yala National Park. After exploring Vilpatu National Park, Sigiriya and Ella, we are now heading through the Yala forest area. Look, there's an elephant by the roadside. Its trunk even came close to us, but luckily it didn't seem in a mood to attack us. We'll need to travel about 10 kilometers through the forest before reaching our stay for the night. Along the way, we spotted several more elephants wandering near the road. Sometimes people feed these elephants, which is why they often come close to the vehicles. But that's actually dangerous. Wild animals should never be fed, no matter how friendly they appear. After a while, we reached the forest checkpost and then continued to a small town called Kataragama. The roadside scenery here reminds me of Pollachi, with its beautiful rows of tamarind trees. Finally, we arrived at our accommodation, Mandara Rosen Resort, a spacious and elegant place where we'll be staying during our visit. After check-in procedures and dinner, we slept, and the next day we went for the safari. Welcome to Yala National Park. Our entry ticket was taken by a guide. There is no online ticket. You have to go yourself to get it. We reached the place by 5:30 a.m. Our vehicle was the first. Rest vehicles is there waiting in the queue. By 6 a.m. they opened the gate. So now we're entering the forest. Right after we entered, we saw rabbits. But we wanted to see the leopard, so without stopping, we went ahead, so that other vehicles do not overtake us when we stop for the rabbit visuals. In the Yala forest, we'll usually see the dry forests in most months. See, there's a small pond and there are some peahens as well. From there, we went ahead and saw 2 Sri Lankan jackals. They saw us for some time and went back, both jumping and going in the same rhythm. These jackals are not that rare, and their food is small species like wild chicken, birds or squirrels. They are roaming around in search of food in this morning. In Sri Lanka, there is no wild dogs. There are only these jackals. Since they are not as harmful as wild dogs, animals like deer, rabbits are not that afraid of the wild jackals. We are still in search of leopard. As our guide told us, there were very good sightings yesterday. Suddenly, while going, we saw a bear. In Sri Lanka, these bears, leopards and elephants are mostly seen. There is no tigers in here. Without staying much, the bear went off, so we continued our journey. There is a pond over there. This is a black-crowned night heron. It has spots because it is still young. When it becomes an adult, it will turn completely dark, with white shade on its lower body. I felt like going fishing. These people usually go fishing at night and rest during the day. Did you notice a crocodile laying on the other side of the pond? Crocodiles are often found laying motionless like that somewhere around the surface. Did Did you see a wild water buffalo getting into the water near the crocodile without any fear? But the crocodiles here do not usually have the courage to attack the wild buffaloes. From there, we moved through the green area. We suddenly saw a leopard walking on the left side of the path. It was a female baby leopard, approximately 2 years old. This was the first time we spotted this particular leopard during the safari. She had been separated from her mother for a few days ago and was probably wandering around looking for a place to establish her own territory. She looked very frightened, walking cautiously and frequently turning around to check her surroundings. Normally, Sri Lankan leopards aren't that shy. They are quite brave, since there are no tigers or wild dogs in the forests to threaten them. However, the leopards that live deep inside the forests are not used to seeing safari vehicles, so they tend to be more timid. Our guide mentioned that this leopard was probably born and raised outside the safari zone, which explains her cautious behavior. At first, we thought she had disappeared into the forest, but after a while, we saw her sitting quietly by the roadside. She kept looking around carefully. And once she felt sure there was no danger, the baby leopard quickly crossed the road and disappeared into the forest. Since she was shy, we realized the chances of spotting her again are very less, so we continued our journey forward. The guides here have a WhatsApp group where they share photographs of leopards they spot. Our guide was really excited today because he discovered a new leopard within the safari zone and could post it in his group. We were also thrilled because we managed to capture a leopard that no one else had seen before in the Yala forest. Look over there, 3 elephants are standing together. This is a swamp area, and there are many such spots around here filled with lotus flowers and small water bodies. Elephants usually stay near places like this, where there's plenty of water around them. Not just elephants, even wild water buffaloes spend their time in these swampy areas. These animals can't tolerate high temperatures, so except when they are eating, they stay in the water most of the time. Seeing all this greenery reminds me a bit of Kaziranga. But unlike Kaziranga, you won't find many big frogs or tall trees here. However, the grasslands, swampy areas, and wild water buffaloes are quite similar to what you see in Kaziranga. If there were tigers here, it would have been perfect. According to history, tigers once lived in this region. In fact, tiger fossils have been discovered. Here, the spotted deer and sambar deer can be seen in plenty. They are the only deer species found in Sri Lanka. These deer, along with rabbits, are the main prey of leopards. This is a white-rumped shama, a bird commonly found in shady forest areas. And here we have the common kingfisher, an expert at catching fish directly from the water. These kingfishers are usually smaller in size compared to the ones found in our region, but they have brighter and more attractive colors. Now let's talk a bit about the safari itself. There are many open areas in this throughout Yala. If a leopard walks through such spots, we get plenty of time to capture it on camera. Here the full day safari runs from 6 am to 6 pm. Breakfast and lunch are packed and carried along for the trip. There are no government safari vehicles available. We have to hire one privately. Only the entry tickets need to be taken from the office at the park entrance. For safari vehicles, options like Toyota Hilux, Mahindra Bolero, Mitsubishi pickups are commonly available. Among them, Toyota Hilux is the most popular and frequently seen. While driving along the edge of a waterhole, our guide kept looking carefully around because leopards often come here to drink water. And that's when we spotted our second leopard. He was drinking a huge amount of water, as much as his tongue could scoop at once. This leopard is a 6-year-old male known as Nilamai. He is not the dominant male of this forest, but his territory lies close to that of the dominant one. Nilamai spent about 5 minutes drinking water before walking away. After quenching his thirst, he calmly walked past our vehicle without showing the slightest concern. In this safari, we managed to spot 2 leopards, and this one was one of them. The other leopard we saw later was even stronger than Nilamai. Can you see that crocodile laying on the other side of the pond? The leopard and the crocodile don't bother each other. Neither wants to mess with the other. When the leopard we saw earlier moved back into the forest, we could hear alarm calls of the deer coming from the inside, a clear sign that the leopard was nearby. This bird here is called the small minuet. They are found in India, Sri Lanka and Thailand, and sometimes even in forests of Kerala. The bright red color on their body is incredibly attractive, and it's usually the male birds that have such vivid shades. As mentioned earlier, the main prey of leopards here are deers and hare. We have seen the deer already. Now there is a hare over there. This animal is looking like a rabbit, and many people mistakenly call them rabbit. But this is the Indian hare, and both are different. They are usually active at night. Their fur blends perfectly with the grass and the surroundings, which makes it very difficult to spot them when they are hiding. Anyway, we continued our journey. At one point, we stopped the vehicle to have breakfast. While we were doing that, a bear appeared in front of us. It quickly went into the forest. It seems like this is the usual path the bear takes. So, we continued our journey. One of the most exciting things about a wildlife trip is the constant anticipation. You never know which animal you'll see next. I truly enjoy this excitement. Even in forests we've been through many times, there's always a curiosity about what creature might appear next, and that keeps the trip thrilling. Here, a mongoose is drinking water. During summer, all animals feel thirsty. Our trip took place at the end of July, while it's rainy season in Kerala, it's summer in Sri Lanka. In fact, the slight rains usually come only in Novembers and Decembers. After drinking water, the mongoose turned around and looked alert. At that moment, it heard a sound and quickly ran into the forest. The cause was an eagle. Eagles don't usually hunt mongooses, but all small creatures are afraid of them. This is a juvenile crested hawk eagle. Adults have a darker shade. These eagles often attack small birds and their nests, and they usually hunt squirrels, lizards, and other smaller animals. Eagles are at the top of the food chain. In every ecosystem, they are apex predators, and there's no other creatures that hunts eagle. This bird is called the yellow-wattled lapwing. It's not commonly seen. We made a full round of the area and came back to this spot again. Right there, nearby there's a spotted deer and few cranes as well. In the pond, there's also an eagle called the grey-headed fish eagle. We aren't sure if it came to drink water or to catch the fish. It is a very windy day. Even though it is the middle of day and very hot, there's a nice breeze which is refreshing. We received a message from the guide that there was another leopard sighting nearby, so we quickly moved in that direction. When we reached the spot, the leopard was lying in the grass, seemingly resting after eating its meal. This is an 8-year-old male leopard named Lucas. He's considered the king of the Yala forest, the dominant male, and often referred to as the tiger of Yala. Look, he just stood up and started walking towards us. Lucas is a strong, dominant leopard who fears neither the safari vehicles nor the people. In 2022, at just 5 years old, he hunted and defeated a wild water buffalo, which made him famous. Usually leopards don't have the strength to take down buffaloes by itself. But after that remarkable hunt, Lucas became the king of this area. Since then, no other male leopard has challenged him in his territory. Like tigers and other big cats, leopards mark their territory with scent. This serves as a warning to other males that the area is already claimed. Right now, Lucas seems to be checking for the other scent markings in his territory, asserting his dominance. This bold leopard walks fearlessly beside our safari vehicles, completely unbothered by humans. At first, seeing a leopard walk so close to us was a bit intimidating. We could even hear the sounds of its footsteps very clearly. Look at its neck and overall body mass. He looks absolutely majestic. Seeing him in person, it's clear that Lucas is a truly powerful leopard. After a while, Lucas moved deeper into the forests, giving us a chance to capture some amazing visuals and shots. Our guide knew the best spots for photography and clearly positioned the vehicles so we could get great photographs. He was clearly very knowledgeable about this forest, which made the experience even more enriching. In this single frame, we can see 4 crocodiles, and in the background there are deers as well. Crocodiles are commonly seen like this. All crocodiles are on the land at the moment. Meanwhile, wild water buffaloes are approaching. As mentioned earlier, this is a full-day safari in Yala. There are 2 entry gates, Palatupana and Kataragama. Palatupana is closer to the beach side and is more a famous gate, but it tends to be very crowded. We entered through the Kataragama gate. No matter which gate you use, you can access all the safari zones within the forest. The areas with highest wildlife sightings are generally more popular among visitors. Safari jeep charges are not fixed. Each jeep owner sets their own price. we saw a gray-headed fish eagle. It's perched on a branch with a fish in its foot. These eagles are usually found in forests with ponds nearby, as that's where they can easily find their prey. So we are now heading to the next spot. On the way, looking at the side of a pond, we saw a bear drinking water. Today, we've seen many animals drinking water. It is a female bear approximately 10 years old. While tigers and leopards have a lifespan of around 10 to 12 years, bears can live up to 40 to 45 years. After drinking water, the bear walked back into the forest. It seems that the bears in Sri Lanka tend to have a noticeable hair loss. Even the bears we saw earlier in Vilpattu and during the morning had less body hair. Look, this is a white-browed fantail bird. When this bird walks on the ground, its tail has a distinctive pattern. In Sri Lanka, there are two types of hornbills, pied hornbill and grey hornbills. There are many pied hornbills in this area. They are not difficult to spot, but grey hornbills are much rarer. The hornbill on the left side is a juvenile, while the one on the right side is a female. These hornbills feed on snakes if they find them. Look, a snake is moving over there. In this area, snakes mainly feed on frogs and chameleons. Poisonous snakes exist here, but non-poisonous snakes are more common. So we are seeing a food chain in action here. Eagles, hornbills, snakes, chameleons, lizards are all connected in this ecosystem. This bird is called the coppersmith barbet. This colorful and beautiful bird always makes its characteristic tuk 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 sound from within. Most of the time, it sits like this on top of a branch or on tall trees. Look, two sambar deers have come to drink water. In Yala National Park, there are some areas that have only rocks. Without forests or open grassy areas, usually safari vehicles don't go to such rocky areas because it's difficult to spot animals among the rocks. However, leopards like these rocky areas. When we went close to these rocks, a leopard walked past right there. If we had just passed by in the vehicle without stopping, we would have completely missed seeing this leopard. We barely had half a minute to see the leopard. In a safari, spotting animals clearly and in time often depends entirely on luck. Even a 1-minute delay can mean missing the animal entirely. This bird is called the black-hooded oriole. During the mating season, these birds sing beautifully. Interestingly, both males and females have the same bright color combinations. This is a monitor lizard, actively searching for something in the fields. Specifically, it is the Bengal monitor lizard. These lizards are predators, feeding on almost any living creature's eggs, including those of beetles, worms. It also feeds on frogs, lizards, rats, and chameleons. Basically, anything their size allows them to consume. They are even capable of climbing trees quietly to catch and eat sleeping bats. Right now, this lizard is digging under the soil, likely searching for eggs. Many creatures like chameleons leave their eggs in holes in the soil. And the Bengal monitor lizard is very adept at finding and consuming these hidden eggs. This is a white-bellied sea eagle, a bird of prey that is not very common. They are typically seen along the sea coasts, often in areas connected to the sea but not in very deep waters. These eagles fly high above searching for fish and then dive down to catch their prey. Nearby, we also spotted an elephant taking a bath in a well. After bathing, it plucked and ate some plant leaves close by, a simple but fascinating glimpse into the daily life of these gentle giants. For those interested in planning a trip to a national park in Sri Lanka or elsewhere, you can contact me or .green. For details about packages, costs and itineraries, you can visit our website pikwoods.com. This bird is called the blue-faced malkoha. Nearby, there were a few spotted deer standing around. Large groups of deer are not very common in here. Usually we see 2 or 3 at most. Unlike our previous Kabini experience, where lush greenery and water have made for a beautiful scene, this frame had relatively open areas. When deer gaze in such open spaces, a leopard hunting could be quite dramatic. Unexpectedly, a leopard emerged from the forest, causing all the deer to run back into the cover. Interestingly, this leopard was not hunting. It was simply walking through. Even so, the deer continued giving alarm calls non-stop as they fled. The leopard we saw is a famous female named Astor, about 6 years old. She appeared near the territory of Lucas, the dominant male leopard. Female leopards entering a male's territory is usually not a problem. Conflicts occur only when the other males enter the Lucas territory. When Astor moved closer, our guide positioned the jeep to get a clear view. We observed her laying on the ground and scratching her back. Interestingly, there were reports of 3 black panthers in this area. Though sightings are rare, the last confirmed sighting was about a year ago, and none of them have been reported since then. Official statistics indicate that over the last 15 years, humans have killed 90 leopards in Sri Lanka, highlighting the challenges of wildlife conservation. In one frame, we saw a group of lesser whistling ducks. Never got such a sight. At this point, the safari adventure was winding down because our next activity was whale watching in Mirissa. Before leaving, we spotted a wild water buffalo, but soon they disappeared back into the forest. We stayed at Kataragama, checked out and left to reach Mirissa. It took 2 hours to reach Mirissa. Once we arrived, we immediately booked tickets for the boat ride. The boat was more like a mini ship with an upper deck, rather than a typical small boat. Life jackets were distributed. We got all ready for the ride. Spotting whales is never easy, as they are underwater most of the times, but blue whales, in particular, are the largest animals on the planet and come to surface only to breathe. That's the moment we can actually see them. The sea was choppy and full of waves, so the boat rocked significantly. Filming or taking videos was challenging, and stabilizing the camera was tougher, but everyone was excited. Our plan was to watch these magnificent creatures from the upper deck, and capture as much as possible while they surfaced. After some time searching, we finally spotted a whale surfacing. The whale appeared to come up for air, exhaling strong bursts of steam and water from the blowhole on its head. Then it submerged again, diving deeper into the sea, only to resurface 4 to 5 times over the course of observation. Each resurfacing lasted a short while, as whales must come up for oxygen, since unlike fishes, they don't have gills. Watching the whale from the ship, even though it seemed small at first, we could see the immense scale of the ship's deck compared to it, which gave us a perspective of how large the whale was. It took some patience and long wait before we could catch the whole whale surfacing again. Capturing a good video clips was challenging due to the whale's brief appearance and the rocking boat. Seeing the largest living creature on Earth in its natural environment was a thrilling and unforgettable experience. So this marks the conclusion of our episode of Wildlife Adventure. So next episode we will continue with more sightings and stories. Bye bye.